In presenting the Spec Extreme Keder welder, I'd like to show you a few features of the machine. First, from the front side of the machine, we have a handle for easy lifting and moving the machine to different positions where you'd like to use the machine. In addition, the outstretched part here is the Keder guide system, which allows you for the easy inserting of the material to perform the single or double flap Keder strip welding you'd like to make. Along the side of the machine here is again the extension of the guide system, only near the welding area itself. We'll describe this guide system in more detail in a few moments. From the rear part of the machine, you have the two knurled steel pinch rollers that help compress the material together once heated by the hot wedge that you see here. In addition, there's a handle here in the back for, once again, the easy maneuvering of the machine for different areas that you'd like to use the machine. Lastly, on the side here of the machine, we have a service knob so that when you unscrew this, you are able to pull the wedge out into a servicing type of position for easy cleaning or changing. In addition to that, you'll notice the lever pressure arm for the lowering of the pinch rollers, as well as a guide here showing you the amount of pressure that you have from a minimum to a maximum of the pinch of those two pressure rollers. In describing the top cover of the Spec Extreme Keder welder, the unit is powered by either 110 volt or 230 volt single phase power source, and there's an on-off switch to set that power on or off. When switched on, the power green light illuminates, and shortly the temperature controller will also illuminate. There's a switch here for the direction of the machine, the rollers in either a forward direction, which is pulling material through the machine, or a neutral or reverse position where the rollers move in the opposite direction. For the welding of the Keder strip, the machine would always be in a forward position. In addition to that, there's a switch for either a manual ability to roll the rollers or automatic, meaning when the wedge is engaged into the welding position, the rollers will automatically begin turning at that time. There are also three fuses, one for the heat, one for the general control of the machine, and finally a motor fuse as well. Finally, in the center here is the watt-low temperature controller, which is used to adjust temperature on the hot wedge itself, and also a speed control dial, basically between 0 and 100 or maximum speed. There will be a ratio between the temperature used and the speed that you use for the quality bonding of the thermoplastic textile. Further, this lever arm here is used for the engagement of the pinch rollers. So when closed, the pinch rollers come together so that you'll be able to start your welding process. And when opened, it allows you the ability to manipulate your material and put it in position for welding. Finally, the other lever arm here is for the engagement of the wedge. In this stowed position, the wedge is out of the way for you to prepare your material, but once ready for welding, you will swing the wedge into the welding position. When completed, the wedge can be turned out and everything will stop. Next, I'd like to present the guide system for the Spec Extreme Keder machine. The guide system is the entire length of the welding area here, so that you have maximum control of the material as it comes through to the welding spot. To adjust the guide tray for either single or double flap style Keder, it's best to remove the guide tray from the machine itself so that you'll be able to make those adjustments. There are 2 screws that you'll find holding the guide tray in position on the machine, and the removal of those screws and then subsequent pulling of the guide tray from the machine will allow you easy access to adjustments that you need to make. I recommend using the wedge service pin by moving the wedge out of position to make it easier for you then to remove the wedge tray itself, which slips out through the machine like this. At this point in time, it's very easy to remove the outer guide so that now you have the ability, with the adjustment of the 2 screws here and here, to fix your guide pieces both on the upper side as well as the lower side for either a single or double flap Keder. My recommendation at this point is to review the operational manual for more specific tips and guidance on how to position for different single and double flap Keder. After the Keder guide tray has been positioned correctly as far as where the guide edges are concerned, to insert the Keder textile material, you begin by feeding the material on the underneath side into the slot opening underneath, and then turn and fold the material on the upper side and again bring it into the upper guide tray slot. From this position, you're able to go ahead and slide the material through the machine and to the welding area. You can then snug the material up against the guide edges and then insert the cord. With the outer guide slid in slightly, it's very easy to take the cord and in the fold position of the material, begin to slide the cord all the way through to the welding area. Again, the cord is slid through to the welding area, and now you are able to position material, cord, as well as bring the outer guide in to hold all pieces together. Once in a final and correct position, you're able to lower the pressure rollers to begin this welding process. Before beginning welding, you will need to run some test samples through the machine and find the appropriate temperature speed with which you're looking for the quality of the bonding at the welding area. The temperature can vary on different thermoplastic coatings, and there's a relationship between that specific temperature and the speed which with the material will come across the wedge for welding. So again, the recommendation is to take several test samples as shown here and try different speed and temperature settings to discover the best bonding quality that you are looking for. Again, with your proper temperature and speed found, out in front of the machine here, the operator should be assisting the guiding of the textile and the cord through the entering position here of the Keder guide system. The remaining area here where the welding takes place is secure. So by concentrating here and engaging the wedge lever arm, the welding will take place. And when completed, the arm can be disengaged and the material can be removed to show you the finished Keder or double flap Keder that we've produced.